think that should be good. Alright, everyone. How's it going? Welcome back to another Grand Vault Game Dev stream. Let us get started. I'm going to switch over my viewport. Right, so, yeah, as you can see, we're back in the Unreal Editor, and I got a whole bunch of tabs open. Basically, as the stream's titled, today I'm going to be working on the gear menu setup. Let's try and dock everything in here. Right, so the gear menu is one of the menus from the pause menu, and from here we're able to check out our character's gear, and so at a glance you can check which party member has what equipped, and if you confirm onto that it opens up a detailed view, but right now it just opens up the status menu. But we will get to fixing that shortly. So what do we not need from here? Pause menu, I don't think we need this anymore. Okay, so one thing I want to do was actually size this up a little bit. Oh geez, why won't it let me do that? Okay, that's better. Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to adjust the size until I'm happy with how it displays inside of the, actual on-screen menu. These are separate widgets that'll just display what characters have equipped. So if we increase the size, I get something a little larger, which might be better. I just thought there was a bit too much negative space. Let me raise this up, position Y, and get it semi-centered. Now let's see how that looks. Pretty cool. However, I'm not loving how that widget is scaling inside of the display there. And that is because we are using a choice button, which is a different widget embedded. Interesting. Let me just drag this over. So there's some logic to the way things are laid out. So the scale box, scale to fit. Let's give that setting a check. Oh, definitely not what I like. Definitely want to preserve our icon. Scale to fit. Let's try the y-axis and see how that looks. And I guess a quick test would be instead to just grab the choice button. Oh my god. We could just grab this and insert it, and then we'd basically get how it would look. There's a clear on the initialize, so it should just grab the correct stuff. I shouldn't have to manually get rid of it. That's better. I'll keep that for now. There might be some issues in terms of longer titles and items, but you know what? I think I'm going to want to. I think we need a custom. There's a whole bunch of extra baggage here, which I'm not overly fond of. Let's grab this. Let's create a duplicate. We'll call it a gear button. That's what it's going to display. You can see these are all widgets for our battle menu. And I'll grab this and shove it right inside our gear submenu. Move that here, let that transfer. Cool. Let's hop over there and let's reopen our gear button. Oh, we probably should save. Okay, open that up. We're not going to need the choice button anymore. Let me go inside of here. We're going to grab that gear button. And this is going to have some issues with this stuff. Definitely, like I get it. I get it. Inside of our gear button we have all this stuff, which isn't really necessary. All we need is the icon and the text. That's really it. In terms of a size box, yeah, we're gonna have some issues with that. Set skill data, we're going to get rid of this function because I'll use item data. I had some functions in place, or not functions, but sequences to execute to get rid of those elements. But if this is an exclusive widget to this menu, then we don't really have to have those optional checks and removal of different components. Okay, let's just check how... Whoops! Actually, we don't want to play just yet. What I want to do first is set the gear button to... Yeah, we need to add this to child, but we also need to set the item data. And then we can execute adding that to the parent as a child. And we have to pass that item data through, just so we can display what the character has equipped. So by default in the game instance, we've set Vance's gear for the clothing to display like the green hoodie he's wearing. Whoops, should not have gone in there. So that works, and on Maya's everything is default. However, the default value shouldn't be this. So let's take care of that first. So in our gear menu, we call all of these. And then maybe we need a... Do we need a check? No, we don't have to do the check here. We can actually do the... We can actually do the check on the grab gear function inside of the this widget itself. Because we have the item data coming in, it's pretty easy. Not easy, but it seems logical to do a check here where we can break this. And we can basically check if this name is equal to none. Which it should be if it's empty. And if it's true, actually if it's false, we want to continue our execution and set the item data. But if it's true, we want to actually this should be arranged a little different. We'll do a check right after we spawn it. And if it's false, we continue and set the item data. If it's true, if the item name is nothing, it's basically an empty structure, we want to do a set void slot. I think there's a name for the function. Oh yeah, void underscore slot. What a weird name. I must have made that a while ago. Okay. That's the decisions being made. Right, so check if actor name is equal to none. In both cases, we're going to add the child to the vertical docs. Maybe we can make these nodes a little neater if possible. That's better, I think. We could even do this. Tidy things up a little bit. Yeah, it's better. So if true, call void slot, and then if false, set item data. Okay. So then after, so this should work. I just want to double check what's going on here because we haven't used this in a while. Basically, we set the item data variable on this function or on this widget as as default values, which doesn't really matter. We set the item icon as empty, which is good. That makes sense because nothing should be equipped. And then we this is not good. This is old. Some old technology, or old programming rather. Let's cast to player underscore en, and we can do that. We can get active character, and now this function should not fail when it's called. Remove from parent this widget. Why would you remove it? I don't understand. Set color neutral, focused. We're gonna leave this as is. I don't think we even need any of this stuff because this is for this widget as a submenu, like a button element. We shouldn't need it. I don't think so. Well, I'll just leave it. Just want to save my work first. here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to make a quick comment. That's old programming. I'm going to set this to a dark color. Okay, now when we hop into our gear menu, yep, we have our empty well, containers, which is pretty cool. Kind of large. Not sure if I love it, but you can always like retouch the visuals later once it's functional. Okay, let's go to the gear menu. View whose status. Maybe we can edit that too. View gear. So if we go to our game instance, this is the one-time call, basically. Setting the initial equipment of the characters on the first time you play. So you know, it'd be called once when you start a new game, just to populate those items into our inventory and set them as the appropriate gear set. Because I create a structure that contains the items for those. Now, I think we're going to move these up. I have to like rearrange some of this, just because we need to add a second task. Right, so we can make use of a sequence, because we're going to do this for Vance, and then we're going to do it. Oh, not that. We're going to essentially do the same task for Maya as well, because she has we have to set her clothing default type as well. But before I do that, we're going to have to go to the inventory items and create a new clothing type for her. Can I delete this? Nope. I have to delete it later. Hey Julio, how's it going? We can probably duplicate this actually and rename this, clothing Maya underscore base. I think Sky was the code we used for that. So we have our default variables here. What we have to check is we have to make sure that sky blue tank top is the code word, basically. So, sky blue tank top is the actor's name. That we can populate all the data. And this is going to be for Maya in terms of exclusive use. Actor type is already set. Looks good. Looks real good. So we'll compile, save. Looks like it is good. We have it focused, and now we will. Whoops, sorry, we're working the game instance. Okay, and the next step is to sort of to do the same with basically get the same stuff assigned that we do for Vance, we have to do for Maya, and we can add it to our inventory like this. So that's cool. Both items will get added to our inventory, and we can probably a third sequence that will, I guess, close this gate. It's a really, really bizarre kind of setup. Actually, it's fine. Right now we're doing both because we're playing with two party members. But I think, like, when you play from a new game, we'd probably have a branch, and depending on which is the active character, you'd only populate the single one. Okay, so let's test that. I believe we should be getting her clothing set as well. Cool. The only problem is our container does not seem to be long enough. So let's get back to our gear selection. And I believe... Now this doesn't have to be a vertical box at all. I don't think. We can make use of the scale box. Scale box display. This is just for gear. We're only going to display one at a time. So we could replace all of those instances, my lord, with the other one. Toggle indexes. Like, we have a lot of unnecessary functions inside of this widget, which probably should get cleaned up. Yeah, so toggle choices. This would need to be here, so we'll get rid of it. And get rid of all of this. Toggle page index. You don't need those either. And confirm selection. Now we could make use of that. We'll keep this. Because we're going to make use of it in the individual character focused menu, where we can change our character's equipment. So that event will be useful. Get active player. I don't think we need that, but I'll keep it for now. Grab gear. This is one we are using. Okay. Grab gear. Let's replace that with scale box display. But we lost our reference. There we go. Populate skills. Yeah, this is not a function that we need in this widget. Even clear list. Delete. Okay, that's fine. Just disconnect that. Find references. Cool. So we should be able to compile, and we should be able to get rid of this. And I don't think anything should be broken. Sorry, I just noticed that this actually would fail. It actually needs to work like this, and we have to grab this item and pass that through. That'll be better. Cool. So we got that working. Now if we come back over to this main menu, We can get more width out of these, definitely. Yeah, it's about as long as they should be. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, by default, we can set Maya to have a weapon type as well, actually, while we're here. Let's go to my data tables. We got weapons somewhere, weapons, canteens, water canteen harness, right? So, yeah, I don't actually think we've made one just yet. Okay, so let's do it. Whoops, no, that's not what we want. We want to create a child. Water canteen harness. Oh, I see. I have one previously here. Okay. Wonderful. All my tabs. All my tabs, Unreal. You just got rid of all of them. Whatever. Yes, it keeps my workspace neat. Okay. One thing I do want to do is probably label this. Well, the actor name is fine, actually. Inside of here, we have Water Canteen, and the name, I believe, needs to be exactly correct. So we can pull that information from our data table. Right, let's see, weapon types. Yep, okay, cool. Cool. Character exclusive, just Maya. Water Canteen is, so the actor class is correct. Item type is correct. Looks good. Looks good. These can be set later, but this is basically structures that can carry the information for stat increases, that kind of stuff. So we need to go back into our game instance. Oh, how weird. Oh, I missed your... Oh, Julio asking, why did that happen? Well, that happens whenever you want to delete something that's been referenced in memory, and you choose yes, Unreal, I don't know, I guess it's a bug or a side effect, I don't know how you want to call it, but it basically deletes all your tabs, except for the content browser and the viewport. And sometimes it crashes, but that's definitely a rare possibility. It's not likely. Let's go to item master. And I just want to set up like a color type for weapons. Oh, we do got one for weapons. So if that's the case, and this is set to item type weapons, and this is not color coded, it seems to me that this is failing to be found inside of these. Oops. let's grab our EM character. I think I have inventory set up. A check, yeah. So we can loop through our inventory and see what we have. Which is good. Let me run over to the game instance, and I'm also going to add, well, also more like, gonna add a third row to this. Maybe it's wrong. Maybe we do something like this. And we dump that into the weapons type here. So we go to canteen, harness. Oops. That's weird. Why can't we find that? Oh, of course. Of course. There it is. Okay, so we grab that, dump that here, and now we create the struct. So that should work for both of those. So, there it is. Yes, item language data table not found. So inventory language is fine. Let's take a look at the language data table. Whoa, okay, so, well, that would be exactly why it's not going through here, because we got a different naming convention on this data table versus this data table. So now I need to do some work on my Google Sheets. Okay, so just downloading the CSV file. Now I gotta find it. And then open up this into our items. Grab the language data table. Change the name. Replace our old one. And now we can re-import. And it says successful. And if we hop over to it, we should have the new, yep, should be consistent. So now we shouldn't have any issues. That's definitely the item. Right there. Yeah, we got a green hoodie and a tank top in our inventory. So you can see, I forgot a crucial step. Yeah, definitely add that to our inventory, please. Okay. Okay. Beautiful. Cool. I just noticed the icon for Maya is like, it says Vance, which is funny. You can update that with little to no effort. But this is cool. It's working. So now we're going to build up the next layer, which will be hitting this and not going to the status menu, but instead our characters, like focused gear menu, so that we could exchange those items. Real quick, I want to find our base clothing, change this to, oh, here it is, right there, perfect. To Maya, that's perfect. Compile, save, maybe save all. Oh no, we're good. We are good. Let's go to our UMG folder. In our gear menu, we got our party gear, which is where we navigate to. I can probably close this. And then we have our actual gear selection and gear mode. So, if I think about it, to build a gear menu, probably we can build it from the pause menu, because the hierarchy between those menus are the same, because both of those submenus go to a party view and then a focus view. So I guess it makes the most sense to build it out of a duplicate from our status menu. So I will and then we'll move that to the gear menu, move here. Cool. We got all our stuff organized here. So now we have a party. Oh, whoops, not party gear. We want to open up the main one, gear menu, which right now it is just says it's just the status menu. Let's say 100% the status menu. So we got to begin adjusting the appearance of this. For now, I'll just leave it like this. I just want to set up the navigation. So from party menu, we focus up and down, adjusting the so we hit confirm. Our confirm inputs, we lock our ability to input this menu anymore. We call an event called button pressed, which is this right here. We grab the character index we're looking at, and then we create the gear menu. Okay, yeah, and right now it is just the status menu. So let's grab this, change it to the gear menu, and then this is going to be broken. This is probably not necessary. So as a start, this should work. And if we exit this menu, back, check if main status is true. Yeah, these are all functions that have been built up for the status menu, but the logic is similar. Basically, we're not going to check for main status is true for that button. We're going to check if selecting gear will change. And if it's, well, really, if it's false, we'll be exiting the widget. But I think for now, or for like the initial building of this functionality, we'll just keep it unplugged. You know, it's the back sound effects. We exit to party. So we play the exit animation, we delay to show the animation, and then we remove from parent, which then calls this, and then we create the party status. But that's not what we want either. We want the party gear menu. Oh, a member index party status. Interesting. We can rename this to party gear. Let's compile. This is what we want. We want to be editing the right widget. Okay, let's move those pins over. Now let's recompile. So we should be getting a functional form of navigation. Right, so we can look at Vance, and it loads him, and if we press back, it goes back here, and we have Vance focused. If we go to Maya, we still go to Vance, because we're not specifying anything. Yeah, you can actually see that none of the data here is correct. But we'll get it, because we're still just building out our menu. Okay. Looking at this, toggle party member is, these are good. View attributes, I like change gear. We don't need any of these. I think at all. We don't need any of them. It's definitely going to break some of our functions. Because looking at I wish I could show you my awesome doodle, because it's terrible. But on my notepad over here, I have a breakdown of the elements needed, and it's basically just the portraits and moving this widget, this vertical box, gear choices. Or maybe it should be called gear set. Yeah, this vertical box is going to be included at the same, well, or at least close to similar positions. Let's make these better numbers for the sake of making things neat. Okay. Compile and save, and now let's clean up all of these. We're going to keep the artwork. Yeah, so we don't need the attributes, we don't need the condition. Background, we definitely do need. Edge, we need commands. Yeah, that's important. We don't need any of this stuff, I don't think. This is going to be positioned probably over here. Slightly off center. Compositionally. Let's get the buttons in here first. Whoops, can't do that. Cannot do that. because I'm going to clean these up. Yeah, this whole function might get gutted, but I want to preserve the inputs and some of this logic. Probably all of this is worth. It's probably going to operate the same. Where else do we have issues? Inside the get stats plus data. Right. Right. Can I just unplug this? Is it that simple? Beautiful. I'll keep this for now. There's a lot of stuff in here. Most of it we just deleted, but we kind of need to use the same information, basically to keep these data consistent. So let's grab this, copy and paste. It's probably my favorite feature inside of this widget editing. Let's grab and paste it into our canvas. And there it is. Hooray. Just double checking. So negative 930 and 250 is what we're looking for. Okay, so here's where we are. This is a little too close. I'm just going to shove that over a little bit. Okay. Cool. Cool. I guess we can look at our animations. From the party gear. Interesting. We don't actually call the animations from this menu. I guess because it's always the same, that kind of makes sense. So over in the gear menu, go to the graph, go to begin play, or event construct. Play animation, yes, we're using the launch animation. So make sure I'm editing the right one. And a whole bunch of stuff we deleted. Let's make a bit of space here. Let's get rid of the stuff that is no longer applicable. Yeah, we basically have to edit our starting position. Whoops, this is 950. What do we have for our key art background? Oh, also 950, perfect. Which means I built the images with the offsets built in, which is super cool. Okay, I'm going to start right here-ish. Probably 1800. This one as well. And I think we gotta preserve that. Pretty long delay there. The header, where does that finish? Oh, you know what? We had a bunch of other elements animating in. This is a 1 second intro. Might be a bit too long. Here's what we can try and do. I love how the exit is just like not functional yet. Maybe we can do some animation where, where's my cursor? Where we can exit from the off-screen bottom corner and just come up. It's like a really fast, it's a large amount of space to travel. from like nowhere. So that might yield a better result, I think, anyways. So set this back to our default, our end position at 0. Here's what I'm going to do. Negative 1044. And we're going to lower this down by probably 700. Cool. Whoa, okay. Forgot about that. Okay, and it's going to verify the exit animation is exit to party. We shouldn't need that. Or these. Switch to stats. Nope. Even launch 3 we shouldn't need. Or this. Just these two. An intro and an exit. Oh, forgot an extra 0 here. Let's bump that over. And we don't need that either. Cool, that should take care of that. Right. Now all these animations are missing instructions. Cool. So back in the gear menu, let's take a look at that important function, set get stats and data. So I think the first step would be to rename this. Probably get gear data. Now when we create the widget from here, we want to call that immediately. And we definitely want to have our gear data in place before we add it to viewport. Grab our party member and the index position, of course. Cool, so now that we have the input set up, we have to take care of what happens once we get through here. The first step is focus character index. Let's take a look at this. Oh, yes. Okay, I see. So that's important. We want to create that reference. And setting up the game instance reference is also good. So here's what, Jesus. Is there a secret way to zoom out more? I swear I knew. There's only a zoom in more. Crap. Okay. Let's just grab as much of this as we can get and move it away. Maybe we should even collapse it, because I don't even know how much is actually going to be used. Because if we think about what's going on here, I mean, that's basically what we're going to call, or what we're going to perform. So our game instance reference right here. And we use our newly created, our newly set variable for the index of which character we're currently on. And we set all that data. Does that work? I think it should. Primary info. Where is the artwork? Set the character's artwork. Names, no. Attributes, set visuals, attire, avatar art. Here. This is what we needed. That is basically it, I think. Oh, almost forgot. Our member index. That does matter. Maybe that can be our third all-important function of our sequence. Hey, High Type. Just saw your comment. Yeah, I try my best wherever possible, especially with newer blueprints I make, to keep them somewhat neat, but sometimes it's like you can only do so much beyond collapsing everything, which is less intuitive, I find. Well, yeah, it does work. That's cool. Go on, animate the curves a bit better, but it definitely does work. And our navigation is preserved. In terms of functionality, there is none yet inside of this menu. I mean, we have the logic in place for it, but we're going to have to take care of it at a later time. Because now I think it is time for the stream to end, unfortunately. But when I return, probably have the gear menu built up. Oh, I didn't even share the update for the item menu. Right, so whoops. Right, okay, so yeah, those are just debugs to populate my inventory. Basically, inventory sorting has been set, and like the use of items is now in place. Created some logic in the function to better. The sound effects are kind of loud, but that can be adjusted. But I did create logic in the functions to allow for kind of like an easier application of using an item multiple times, so you're not always kicked out. Yeah, you can see like you can't use that because they're full of HP or whatever. Oh, thanks, High Type, for that compliment. I appreciate it. Anyways, guys, yeah, didn't mean to leave you hanging. I know you just arrived, but my time for today is up. I will hopefully catch you guys tomorrow or until my next stream. Again, thanks for watching. All the support's appreciated. Take care.